tribute to the people we remember today.
My Lords, it's an honour and a privilege to follow the Right Reverend Prelate, the Bishop of Peterborough, in this important debate. She brings not just a deep and abiding faith and a passion for community development, the growth of parish congregations, and the pivotal role of young people in communities in two dioceses. She brings not just that, but she brings her own personal experience, having been brought up in a rectory, and her personal experience of working as a manager in the NHS. I have no doubt that she will make a hugely valuable contribution to this House going forward. My Lords, this week and these proceedings are very much about memory and about commemoration. It's my privilege to chair the Sir Winston Churchill Archive Trust and the Memorial Gates Foundation and Council. We are very much in the trust about ensuring that Sir Winston Churchill's personal papers are available and accessible to the nation and the world. And with the Memorial Gates, founded, many members of this House will recall, by the late and much loved Baroness Sheila Frather, who sat for so long on the benches opposite and who gave so much to our nation's life. But her enduring gift was the Memorial Gates that highlight and commemorate the particular contributions of the Commonwealth and the Asian, African, and Caribbean Commonwealth in particular to the service of this nation. They need to be remembered. But both the Archive Trust and the Memorial Gates Foundation are not just about memory of individuals, their service, and in many cases, their ultimate sacrifice. They're also about remembering the cause which they served and the reason for that sacrifice. And that cause was most succinctly laid down in the Atlantic Charter, to which reference has already been rightly made. And we hold in the Archive Trust, and you can go and look at it on the website at any time, a website that's available generally, globally, and particularly accessible to schools. We hold the original documentation and the writings of Sir Winston around the Charter. And the Charter represents the cause as one of self-determination, sovereignty, freedom, and justice. Self-determination, sovereignty, freedom, and justice. The very cause that's at stake in so many places in our world at this time, and particularly on the continent of Europe. We need to remember that cause. One man who did and who never forgot it was a member of the Royal West African Regiment. His name was Joseph Hammond, and he's written of his experiences in the 14th Army, our 14th Army, the 14th Army of Great Britain. in Burma. And he served in that army, and this weekend he will be 100 years old. And his life and service will be commemorated in Ghana. I've had the privilege of meeting him. I grew up in the Gold Coast and then what was Ghana. And he has established a foundation, the heart of which is the cause of peace, development, and education. And in memorializing, as we have done this week, surely one of the best things we can do is to make sure that in the review that's currently taking place of the curriculum, we make sure that the history and the sacrifice, and above all the values that we are commemorating, are not lost for generations to come. That's something positive and practical we can do, and I do hope ministers in responding will indicate that that will be their response to the review. But you know, Joseph Hammond remembered the Charter, self-determination, freedom and justice. And he, with other returning members, ex-servicemen of the 14th Army, coming back to the Gold Coast, took part then in the struggle for independence, because they took Churchill at his word and they fought for independence. And they won after a demonstration on the 28th of February 1948. And marking the spot where they demonstrated, today in Accra, there is a marble arch, and emblazoned on that arch are the words, freedom and justice. Freedom and justice. That's what they fought for. That's what they won. That's what we must never forget. And we remember Joseph Hammond and all those others who died and who served.
Particularly powerful comments from my noble friend Lord Boateng on the role of soldiers, including Joseph Hammond in the 14th Army of Great Britain in Burma, of the fight for self-determination, freedom and justice. I know noble lords will join me in both thanking Joseph Hammond and wishing him well for his birthday. My noble friend Baroness Amos highlighted the role of Caribbean people both in volunteering and in fundraising, but also mentioned the racism faced by veterans and the need for us to be honest about the whole of our history.